what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Mylo's Mansion. Thank you guys for tuning in. This time we have the one and only Brooks with us.
Yo, thanks for the invite.
It's good. How's life?
Good to see you again. Missed you in
Been a
Miami.
while.
Yeah,
It's been a
definitely.
while. Oh, don't talk about Miami.
No?
That was the only week that I had FOMO.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Like literally.
You've probably been like the last 10 years, right?
But usually I'm always fine. Like, I mean, I've skipped Miami like 2 years ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And usually I don't really care. Like, I'm just
Fair enough.
like, whatever. And this year, for some reason, I felt like I was missing out on something.
It was fun, yeah. But you said you were in Vegas, right?
Yeah, I went to
So,
Vegas the weekend. Yeah.
Pretty good as well, I feel like.
Not bad, Vegas. Well, as usual, we have a couple subjects here.
Perfect.
I haven't seen them.
Me
I
neither,
haven't
so.
Peaked. It's always a surprise, so let's jump in. The start of our careers, yeah, I think we both came up with like Future House-ish.
Yeah, I guess so.
Sort of around the same time. How was that for the both of us?
I think that was still like the SoundCloud whole hype, right? Like with Mesto, Mike, and like all the group chats with like Future's music, and I think that's how it all started. Where I like got to know everyone. I think we kind of met through Martin.
Yeah, probably.
But we both like both are the same.
Each other,
yeah, exactly. So I think how long does that go?
I think like for me, Bouncy Bob was 2015, I think. So it's like
I feel so old now.
I think it must be like around 7 years ago, I think.
That's crazy.
It's insane. Like, and then
because like you released on Spinning right away, right? Like with Bouncy Bob and stuff.
No, it was.
Or is that a crazy story? I don't know. Like
no,
it was touchy subject.
No, not at all. I mean, I think people know what happened. Like, it was supposed to be released on Spinning, and we were like literally, like talking about the deals and whatever. Like, we were setting up the whole thing, and that's just when like the whole thing between them and Martin happened.
Oh, okay. So
and everything
that's
blew
why.
up.
Yeah.
So then we ended up releasing it just like I think
like by
we just like
yourselves.
put it on TuneCore or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
And then later on that turned into Stamped Records, but
yeah.
I think at the time not even Stamped was there. No, it was just
crazy.
Like literally.
Yeah, like I never
and like done.
I didn't really think like most of my stuff. I just released on Future's music, like at least the first couple tracks.
Yeah,
I think that's where it started, and then from there on, I basically moved to Stamped later on, I guess.
I mean, it's sick, like Future House music, how that whole community was.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, but I feel like that's where I started my like community or following, or like people that like started to notice my music, and yeah, even like last week in Miami, they're like doing events now that like I'm playing at. It's crazy.
I think they did something in Japan as well, right? Like a club.
Yeah, that was literally going worldwide. Like I've played their events like basically since we started, and the first events were always in Holland, and it like got a little bigger, and then in Europe, and now they're literally in Miami, Japan. So it's insane how fast they're going.
Wait, are you like you're like good friends with them? Like,
did
you grow up with them or like?
I met them through like the music. Like my first two big-ish tracks on Future's music, or like my first tracks that like kind of blew up were released on Future's music, and that's also when their YouTube channel was like really on the rise.
Yeah.
And like I basically never released music before that as Brooks, and I was super broke, and they lived in Tilburg, which was super close, and I was always like hanging out with them. Like I would show them demos. They were like, "Oh, this would be cool for the label. Maybe you should work on this idea a bit more." And then we just figured that out throughout the day. And then later at night, we would just meet up at a bar or something, and then like slept on the couch with them, but not with them, but no, sometimes.
It's not your thing.
Different story for another time.
No, but I think it's like super important to have someone like that.
Yeah.
When you start out, it's just like
you just feel safe, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
you won't get screwed over, or like they're not like gonna push your career or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good to start with people like that around you. I think.
How do you feel about names? Like, I hate the term, and people please don't hate me for this, but I hate the whole Future Bounce name.
Yeah,
I don't know, like how. I don't know. I get the name. It's kind of like Future House, but more
that's
like a
that's
bouncy
like
version.
two sides of it, right? Like, because I'm grateful for like all the
Yeah,
people that
of
like
course.
have like the Future Bounce playlist, or like how to make Future Bounce, like just some other Brooks
Yeah,
tutorials and shit
yeah.
like that. Like that's
Super cool.
that's amazing,
Yeah.
but it just sounds so lame. But yeah, I am definitely gonna offend people with that. But like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. Like it sounds like Future House sounds way cooler than Future
Yeah,
Bounce,
exactly.
and I don't know why. But yeah, sorry if I shouldn't have said that. But
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it just sounds.
you know what I mean, though, right? Like,
yeah, of course.
yeah. And if I feel like when we just started like with the whole future house music stuff, I feel like people like Jami, for example, or you
Yeah.
looked up to like a lot. Like I
So-
feel like he just looks down on Future Bounce at
Yeah.
that moment. So that's when I was like, maybe he doesn't. Like I have no idea, but like that's how I felt.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
don't
maybe
know.
this is just us overthinking. But
100%, like
probably
definitely,
is.
but I'm good at that. So
Same. Cool. Let's jump in to the next one. Studio Beast. Do you lock yourself in the studio for days, or do you have a standard working schedule?
I feel like every single producer wants to have a standard working schedule, but that
Yeah.
never works out. Like you're either
No.
jet lagged or like I got back from Miami a while ago, but like for some reason this jet lag just like hit me super hard. And then you try to go to bed at night and you can't, and then like you can either just lay down in bed and stare at the ceiling for 4 hours, or just go back to the studio
Yeah.
and just go until you're tired. So I've always tried to like force a good schedule, but it never works out.
No. Yeah, I mean, especially during COVID, I really tried to like, be good, go to the gym at like 9 or 10, work out, go to the studio, work, and then, I don't know, go home by like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And be like...
It always lasts for like a couple of weeks. Like you slowly like,
exactly.
I know what McDonald's getting, like it's fine. Like
Try to be having like an office job, be good.
mhm.
And then, I don't know, it's also with creativity. It's maybe like...
That's the thing though. Like for me, it's not really about like the schedule or something. Because like if I know I have a flight every day, like I'll 100% make it in time and I'll make sure I'll be there. But like if I don't have to wake up at a specific time the next day, especially during COVID, and like it doesn't matter if I cook for myself or I get takeout, or like if you're just by yourself during COVID, like then just like that wasn't doable
just
for me.
whatever. Like,
Yeah.
And also a lot of times I just have at night when I do decide to go to bed on time, and then all of a sudden
You get an
you
idea.
get, like, an
or-
idea
yeah,
or, like,
exactly.
whatever, and you just want to go to the studio or like get your laptop and
Uh-huh.
put things in. It's just like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it happens at crazy hours.
Most of the time, yeah. I don't know, like I just work better at night for some reason too. Like I don't know.
Some Red Bulls and go.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's more fun at night.
100%. But like I
I
feel
mean,
like
it's the same question as why don't we go to a club during the day?
I never really thought about that though, but like yeah.
I know, the night is just more fun, more exciting.
I also have like I noticed when like during the day there's like a lot more going on, like people texting me, calling
Yeah,
me, like
more
you feel like you have to post that you're like having dinner and like whatever. And like at night I just shut my phone off, or just like
I see an ongoing trend with everyone that comes here.
yeah.
No one really likes social media.
Yeah, I know. Like I should pick it back up. I haven't posted in so long. I'm just like so focused on getting the music ready first, and then like having like basically something to show for instead of
True, yeah.
posting
same.
for posting.
And also, like, sometimes people always think like we live the most exciting lives, and obviously a lot of the times when we're touring or whatever, it is insane.
Yeah,
of course,
definitely.
we have the most fun, but like when I'm at home, it's like I'm literally doing what everyone else is doing. I don't know, like work on music, and then sit on the couch, play a video game, hang out with friends.
I was talking about that with like a friend of mine yesterday. It's funny enough. Like right after COVID, I had a couple shows in South Korea, I think like 2 or 3 within a couple months, and he was saying like, "Oh, those shows looked so sick," and like I can't believe that's your life. And then like, especially now with like, now you can't really fly over Russia at that time, so like it was just for one show back and forth 3 times, and that flight was 15 hours, and I spent in total with the 3 shows about a day in South Korea. So 15 hours there, 15 hours back, times 3.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, I wish I did that." I'm like, "Yeah, like the shows were sick, and like the people there were amazing, but
yeah, the travel is painful."
Yeah, like if I just posted about the travel like 10 times and then like this little snippet what it actually was about the show, they wouldn't think. Should try that. Like, you know, there's reels of like the slide.
Yeah.
On Instagram, just have like 10 photos of the flight and then like one of the show.
Like show the reality.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be funny. I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, I mean it's with me doing Vegas like that often. It's like, especially after COVID, we used to do like weekend Vegas back home, another weekend back home. Like, I don't know, 2-3 weeks in a row. It's like, and obviously we can't be complaining too much because like,
no, it's not complaining.
I also
of
don't
course.
want to be like whining about it or
no,
something.
not at
like,
all.
I think we're both like super grateful for what we're doing.
100%.
But yeah, it's not always the flashy.
No, it's like it's obviously amazing, but like yeah, of course there are like downsides. But like I feel like that's with everything now.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Let's move on. Wait, yeah, that one. This one. Scoring a big hit like I do. How did this start? And what's the story behind it? I'm a radio interviewer now.
Like it basically happened quite naturally, actually. Like, I think me and Marnie were at a show in Dubai or Abu Dhabi, something like that. And him and David already had the vocal and the idea of it.
Yeah.
And they sent that. Well, then me and Marnie were listening to that in like after we did the show in Dubai, I guess. And I loved the vocal, and we just started trying stuff, and then like we got David back involved, and like we just started like working on everything, writing ideas, melody, chords, stuff like that, and basically it happened very naturally. Like obviously they're very busy touring.
Yeah.
And at that point, I didn't have a big hit yet, so I had a lot of time like in the studio.
Yeah.
I had like shows here and there, but like nothing too crazy. Like not like them like doing a show every day.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically just kept working on it, and yeah, just sending ideas back and forth. They were like working on a laptop on tour, and yeah, within like a couple months later, not even a month later, I think it was done pretty fast as well. Like, and I just had the track, and then like all of a sudden it went so fast.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Was there a lot of time between like when it was finished and released?
not really. I think I got really lucky that both of them like just had like released a big song for them, and they were like kind of looking for something to follow it up with, or like had some space left over, or like a track didn't work out or whatever. So for me, it worked out perfectly because I'm not sure, so might be wrong about that, but I feel like it was maybe a month, maybe 2.
Oh, sick!
Which was crazy because like
crazy.
with Better When You're Gone, for example, it's the track I did with David after that. I had that done like we worked on that a month after Like I Do came out or something.
Yeah.
And Better When You're Gone was released like a year after Like I Do.
So frustrating. It's like...
Yeah, there was like stuff going on with the vocal.
Yeah.
Then he had like a different track that has to be released now because he wouldn't keep the vocal, or like some other way. Like it's always so random. You have to be so lucky, or like
exactly.
they have
there's always like I don't know,
so many different factors, right?
Like label stuff, and like everyone has their own schedule.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes so frustrating. I think for me with like Burnout, we had like the instrumental like I think maybe even over a year or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly.
The original idea I made for that song was like, I don't know, a couple years old.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like Martijn really liked that idea, and like we worked on it together a bit more. And then we had the instrumental, but we didn't have a vocal yet.
Mm-hmm.
And always, I don't know, for me it feels always really hard to go. It's like easier to have a vocal.
Yeah,
and then
you
make
can
a
build the
song.
track around the vocal, right? And then the vocal.
Instead of the other way around. So we had that, and he was playing it out, and I don't know. We mashed it up with, I think maybe it was like a Calvin Harris song or whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
To play it out live.
Yeah.
And I think he played that for like maybe a year.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the Axe deodorant, he was doing
right, it was like a
commercial with them, and they obviously wanted to have like a song for it, and that's when
I remember seeing all this stuff coming out. Yeah,
that's when
Forgot
things
about
all
that.
of a sudden like sped up, and
exactly.
the song came out, and like all of a sudden we had a vocal, and like everything went super quick.
Yeah.
But it's like
I didn't know that though. Like it sounds like that's one of those tracks where you had the vocal and the track was built around it.
No,
which is perfect.
Didn't have any vocal, but then we had like 2 vocals, and actually we picked Burnout, and the other vocal was Times Like These, which I just used like a couple months ago on another song that I put out. So we actually made 2 songs out of
that's
that
amazing.
one instrumental. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, usually it's a lot harder to have like an instrumental.
It's so frustrating. Do you think like I have that too? With like that's why Quantum was like the last track I did on my time is an instrumental.
Yeah.
Because like we had a demo with like all the vocals and a totally different track, and then I had my old laptop with me, and like even especially back in the day we were like making so many melodies and small demos and stuff. We just literally scroll past like everything that we had, and just like 10 tracks later we're like, okay, this is a cool idea, and we just finished that within a week, while with the other track we were still like waiting for the vocal, and like, oh, maybe you should fit this better, and then we just decided like, let's just release an instrumental, like works out, it's done,
it works.
Yeah, it's 100% like ours, so we could just literally do whatever we want with it. We don't have to wait for anything. And
I mean, there's also like with vocals like so much stuff involved with like making all the deals and making sure everyone's happy,
all the writers and
which I get, obviously. Like I know
fair enough, but like
there's a big discussion going on now about like songwriters getting paid what there is, apparently. I've been reading into it a bit more now because I don't know, it's just interesting.
I should probably know about it too.
I don't know, it's just maybe my Instagram feed algorithm that feeds me this stuff. But like, and I actually want to do like another episode about this with my publisher.
You should,
get a bit more deeper into publishing and stuff. But also like, I mean, I get that for songwriters they need to be like compensated for the work
obviously
they do, so that obviously takes a lot of time, like figuring it out. Like sometimes there's like 4 or 5 people involved in a song, and everyone wants to obviously get their
their part,
share.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with that, because obviously like they it's their art, their creativity as well.
Yeah,
just didn't know like that was like going on. I'm gonna look into that though.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Definitely.
Cool, let's move on. Holidays. Do you still like to go on a holiday when you're having time off, or do you like to stay at home when you're free?
I think there's like 2 ways with that. Like if I'm home for not too long, I love to just like stay home and see my dog again and invite some friends over, like just cook dinner and just basically escape for a bit.
Yeah, just have like a normal.
Yeah, exactly. But like
lifestyle.
What I used to do with friends, like before COVID, like normally we would do like a small Asia run, like the Asia tour in like December, for example, and then just plan a week in Bali after that, like while you're already there, and then just like that's the best time ever.
Yeah.
So it is like 50-50, like it depends. How about you?
I don't know. I feel like I should do that more. Like I don't do that enough. A lot of times I'm like, because there's obviously also like financials involved. Like a lot of times I'm like, okay, well I can go like do the shows and then stay and like have some fun and enjoy the place where you're going instead of just going in and out. But then I'm also like thinking about the cost and like I don't know. Sometimes I get too too
Stressed about it.
stressed about that, then I
Yeah.
feel like I don't know if it's the smart thing to do.
Like for me, it's like obviously like it's expensive to like just stay wherever, but like I told myself like at least once a year,
Yeah.
and yeah, now my next show is in Tokyo, for example. I'm going there with taking a friend with me, and we go there like 5 days before, because
Nice.
he's always been like wanting to go to Tokyo,
Yeah.
and yeah, like I always like when I get back from those trips, I like always immediately realize like how much you recharge from that, and like how
Yeah,
much
yeah.
better you feel, much more
Yeah.
inspiration, and how much more relaxed you go to the studio or go to the next flight, or like. And I was like try to remind myself like, hey, like it is worth it though. Like
I mean, of course, it always is worth it, but that I also, kind of like wanted to like promise myself to do it more instead of, think about
yeah.
do like
But the thing is, if you keep saying like that used to be my issue too. Like I kept saying like, oh yeah, no, I should think about it more, and then like
yeah,
next time I think about it, I just remind myself that I need to think about it again. Like, just this endless loop, and
yeah, I know. Well, luckily I did. I'm actually
Good.
planning some stuff,
you
so
deserve it.
it's no more just talk. Actually making it happen. But yeah, it's there's so much places I just want to like actually explore
Yeah.
instead of just like going for a show and like.
What's one of the places you've been to but never had the chance to like see that you really wanna? Because for me that was Tokyo, so that's why I'm bringing my friend.
Tokyo, luckily, I've been able to stay a bit longer. But I think like South America, like
Mhm.
I've been in Buenos Aires in Argentina twice, I think. And I don't know, it just seems such a cool place to like
Yeah.
explore. And
I've never been actually.
Latin vibes, you know,
Yeah.
it's like super cool. So yeah, that's one of the places for sure. I
Crazy.
don't know, just like Asia in general. I'm always.
I love Asia. Like
so
it's
fun.
yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know. It's just so there's like. I feel like in Europe, sometimes. I mean, I'm not saying it's always a bad thing, but we have so much rules here. Like there's
Yeah.
like, their life just feels a little bit more free and like.
It's less stressful.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like here everyone like is so focused on like getting the promotion or like
Yeah.
getting a better job, and
Exactly.
over there it's more like, okay, let's have dinner every day, and like
Yeah.
you find like a small nice restaurant that we
Yeah,
can chill
just have
at,
a good
and like
time and like more, like even with people that like we were in India like a couple of weeks ago.
that looked amazing by the way.
it's
and That was
crazy.
so
It's
sick.
insane.
Yeah.
And there was like I don't know what city this was, but there was like some festival going on of like actual like tribes. So it's like
Oh, crazy.
it's like people that live like outside in the city in huts and whatever. Like it's crazy, and they all have this festival where they come to the beach, and like they all go like young people all go there to find their partner basically.
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
it's so interesting, but it's like it's crazy to see that like people that
It's just like a massive Tinder festival.
yeah, basically the real life Tinder, basically. But that people that don't live like a Western life with like cars and yeah, they have a very minimal life, but they still looked like they were having the best time of their life.
Yeah, no, 100%. But like that's what I mean. I feel like that's sometimes forgotten here. That like that's what it's about,
Yeah.
right? Like that's so much more important, and like it does so much more for you. I feel like
Yeah, it's like we have so many distractions. It's
yeah. Once again, we can't complain, but like,
No,
so,
for sure.
do you feel like sometimes you wish that like that would be nice too, to just have that instead of like.
I mean, I guess so.
Like
Yeah.
waking up, looking at your schedule, and your whole day's filled with like stuff
Yeah,
to
yeah.
do, and like
I mean, well, I think the same with like making music. Like before, when I started out, and there was no pressure,
yeah,
no deadlines. There was no one actually really expecting anything from
Yeah.
you. That feeling it was so
yeah,
fun.
I miss that. But I've talked to like every single DJ that I've talked to that about. Like they all say that like that's the part you should enjoy the most, but that you enjoy the least, because like
yeah. I saw someone tweet, I think like last week. I don't know if I fully agree with that, but they said success kills creativity. I don't know. I don't really believe in that, but I get what they mean.
In certain ways, yeah, it does though. Like, because now when I like go to the studio, for example, like it's always with a feeling like, oh, I have to like make progress, or I have to succeed today, or like there's a deadline, and like, oh, I don't have time for this now. I should have this finished, and then when you don't finish it, it's like, well, yeah, just like you said, like I was just broke with my mom's old laptop, like just like doing random shit, and that's like what. And I never expected it to do anything, and then when it does, it's so cool. And then I remember like Future Music reaching out to me for the first time, and compared to what they're now, they were nothing.
No,
but that felt so like unreal, basically. That they were like, okay, yeah, like they want to release your music. I'm like, damn, that's new.
Yeah, that's fun. I mean, that's probably the best part, like the journey of like, discovering that, and like just.
It's so fun to look back on that, though.
Yeah, definitely.
And like you said, like that's how I met like the guys from Future Music, and they're like such good friends of mine now. We have so much like history together. That's what we talked about in Miami too. Like, just at the end of the show, we were just like having the last couple of beers on the rooftop, and like someone's coming up, and it's like fun to like see that we, like I said, we were just some cheap students in Tilburg, right? Like, just have a couple of beers, and now we're like doing that. Like
Miami.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's amazing.
I mean, also like what I sometimes have, like when I listen back, especially with the Chasing Shadows, I have this really much. I think I made that song. I have my studio then. I'm not sure, but like some songs that I just made on like in my bedroom, and the mix sounds so sick. And then stuff that I make in like an actual studio.
Yeah,
I'm like, why can't I get this to sound like the old stuff?
But like that still happens though. I remember like the summer before COVID, like I was at David's place in Ibiza, and we were just messing around on like in the studio and making demos, and he had like some ideas that we were working on. And I loaded up some standard. Like that was still my mom's old laptop, and it didn't have like I broke my headphones in the laptop, so I couldn't plug in the speakers. So I mixed it on my mom's old, like some Dell computer with like the shitty speakers, and we played it live, and it sounded so sick. And I just I didn't know where the project was or something, but like I remember like even. Like I was with David while he was playing it, and they looked at me like, "What?" Because we were just expecting it to be like shit. We just wanted to test if the idea would work. Exactly. But then, like the whole it went crazy, and I just never knew how I did that. Because it was my mom's old laptop. Like the licenses were messed up, and like the project wouldn't load again, and the presets were not saved, and I still cry about that sometimes.
It's funny, like how we all like invested in like getting a sick ass studio. Like 6 speakers and everything, and like in the end that doesn't necessarily always help to like get stuff sounding super sick.
I feel like how I sometimes focus way too much on this one hi-hat or like this one automation clip that is just like not right enough. Like
same.
You just accept the fact that you will never get that right on the laptop like that, so you just fucking move on and then just maybe I should just get back to my old laptop. Should try like do like a master class on it or something. Make a track in an hour.
Just laptop speakers.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works. Like.
Yeah, apparently.
But now I feel it's hard for me now to go back to that though.
Yeah, but like that. But like back then, it sounded. Like it's so weird how it works.
Because now I find it so annoying to work on headphones.
Yeah, like I'm used to like having like a subwoofer, for example, and like probably a bad thing, but
I wish I like, because on tour, like it's obviously sometimes you need to work on the road, and I wish I don't know, it was easier to just like have a headphone and like just get stuff where you want it to be, instead of having to go to the studio and like the speakers and all the stuff. I know.
Also, like I feel like it does help, like we talked about earlier with the like the workflow and stuff. I do notice that if I do go to the studio, like I feel like I went through the effort of leaving my house, like getting ready to go to the studio, instead of in what I used to, my bedroom and my laptop speakers, like, I would get distracted so much.
Yeah.
I like just like, let's make a sandwich downstairs. Like, fuck it. And then,
Yeah,
just,
I
like my dog needs a walk, or
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
let's just go out and
Guys just text, should I come over?
exactly.
Let's have some beers, and you're always like,
I mean, I still drink beer at the studio, but like, at least I go to work and then.
it feels more like you're doing something like
Yeah,
serious.
exactly.
You
Like I can pretend like
have
I'm
a job.
Yeah, I can pretend I'm an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does feel a bit more like you're doing.
Do you feel like an adult?
No.
No, me. Okay, I'm just checking, making sure.
Like sometimes.
I have no idea what I'm doing, dude. Like, I feel like no one does.
It's crazy, like how it feels like your parents, like
I thought they were so smart when I
they
was younger.
figured out
Like,
life, and like they always know what they're doing,
Yeah.
and like
the older you get, the more you realize no one does,
no
and they're
one
all
does.
just like
everyone just does whatever, basically.
they just try, and like
Yeah.
that's all they can do, right?
Yeah, I guess that's where all music comes together. I feel like the best music comes together, like basically just doing whatever
100%.
instead of overthinking shit.
Yeah, but like we already agreed, like we're good at overthinking, so I feel like that also just messes with your like music as
Yeah.
well. Like the fucking
I think that's
bars.
it's a beautiful message to end on. Don't overthink and just have a good time.
Don't overthink, and we also don't know what we're doing.
Exactly. Thanks for coming out, man.
Appreciate you. Thanks for the invite. It was fun. Good to see you again.
Guys, soon next time. Thank you guys for tuning in.